So in today's lesson, we're going to be looking at multiplying and dividing with fractions. Again, fractions aren't everyone's favorite thing to work with, but they are something we need to become a little bit more familiar with. So in the warm-up today, it's actually going to do a real quick review of adding and subtracting fractions. If you remember, when we add and subtract fractions, we need that common denominator. So starting with number 1, my common denominator in this case is going to be 24. I'm going to multiply the first equation by 3 and the second equation by 8. It's going to give me 21 over 24. Plus negative 16 over 24. When I add those together, I get 5 over 24 as my final answer. 5 over 24 is reduced as small as it can go, so I don't need to worry about simplifying it any further. Second problem, I'm going to multiply the first one by 2 in order to get my common denominator of 10. It's going to give me negative 8 over 10 plus negative 7 over 10. It's going to give me negative 15 over 10, which will become negative 1 and 5 over 10, or negative 1 1/2 as my final answer. Remember, to switch from an improper fraction into a mixed number, you would want to use the long division if necessary. For 3 and 4, they are both mixed numbers. I change mine both to improper. So that's going to give me 15 over 2 plus 35 over 6. I'm going to multiply the first fraction by 3 in order to get my common denominator. So that's 45 over 6 plus 35 over 6. That's going to give me 80 over 6. It's going to give me 13. And then 13 and 2/6, which will reduce down to 13 and 1/3 as my final answer. Number 4, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to make them improper first. Remember, when you make them improper, don't do anything with the negative. So 12 times 2 is 24, plus 5 is negative 29 over 12. 9 times 4 is 36. 36 and 8 is negative 44 over 9. Easiest common denominator to work with in this problem is going to be 36. I'm going to multiply this by 3. And I'm going to multiply this one by 4. I'm going to get some pretty large numbers on this one, but don't get too concerned about the large numbers. So I'm going to get negative 87 over 36 plus negative 176 over 36. Add those two together because they're both negative. I get negative 263 over 36. Go ahead and do the long division in order to change it back into a mixed number. So I'm going to start with 7. And 11 over 36, and now my negative will come down. So negative 7 and 11 over 36 is my final answer for those. So again, we're going to be looking at multiplying and dividing fractions, and how do we multiply in standard form, how do we multiply with mixed numbers, how do we divide, all of those sort of things. And I think you'll find multiplication and division a little bit easier than addition and subtraction of fractions. When we multiply fractions, what's nice is we don't need that common denominator. So we're actually going to multiply straight across the top of the fraction and straight across the bottom. So 7 times 11 is 77. 10 times 12 is 120. So my final answer is 77 over 120. Pretty straightforward. The other nice thing about multiplying is you can actually cross-cancel or simplify in the problem itself. You don't have to, but by simplifying in the problem itself, you're usually working with smaller numbers, and if you do it correctly, you won't have to simplify at the end. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 12 divided by 3 is 4. In order to cross cancel, you have to divide each number that you're looking to simplify by the same value, and you must cross cancel on a diagonal. So for instance, I couldn't cross cancel the 3 or the 5. The 3 and the 12 have to cross cancel each other, and or the 5 and 11. 5 and 11 have nothing in common, so I can't cross cancel them. So now multiply straight across the top. That's negative 11. 5 times 4 is 20. So negative 11 over 20. 2 for you to practice on. I'd go ahead, I'd pause the video, try these, and then turn it back on, and I'll go ahead and go over the answers. In the first one, I can cross cancel the 2 and the 8, giving me a 1 and a 4. Multiply straight across the top, straight across the bottom, 7 over 12. In 4, I can actually cross cancel twice. 5 divided by 5 is 1, 10 divided by 5 is 2, 3 divided by 3 is 1, 12 divided by 3 is 4. Make sure you do catch the negative sign, so negative 1 over 8 is my final answer for the second one. Multiplying with mixed numbers. Just like before, I make everything improper. So 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is negative 11 over 4, times 16 over 5. That's a 4, that's a 1 when I cross cancel. That's negative 44 over 5. And again, use the long division to change it back over. That's going to be negative 8 and 4/5. I would go ahead, pause the video, try these two on your own, and then turn it back on, and I'll go over the answers. So in number 2, 8 times 4 is 32. 32 and 7 is 39 over 8. 15, that's going to give me 17 over 3. So times 17 over 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 39 divided by 3 is actually 13. So 13 times 17 gives me 221 over 8. That's going to give me 27. So 27 and 5/8 as my final answer. I'm doing the long division on another piece of paper just to kind of save room on the screen, but that's all I'm doing, is doing the long division. Number 3, so that's 21, so negative 23 over 7 times 3 over 2. I do not see any places at the moment where I would be able to cross cancel, which is fine. So I'm going to multiply straight across the top. That's going to give me negative 69 over 14. Doing the long division again, I get 4 as the whole number out in front. And 13 over 14. Now I bring my negative over, so negative 4 and 13 over 14. Dividing fractions. Dividing fractions is really multiplication with one extra step. When you divide fractions, you take the second fraction, and we're going to multiply by the reciprocal instead. So the negative 2/5 isn't going to change. My division sign becomes a multiplication sign. It is always the second fraction that is going to flip upside down. That's what the reciprocal is. Take the second fraction, flip it upside down. Cross cancel, because now we're just multiplying like we did in the last example. This is going to become negative 1. That's going to become 2. And I end up with negative 7 over 10 as my final answer. So the only extra piece from the last example is remembering to change it to multiplication and flip that second fraction. So negative 2 over 3 times negative 6 over 5. Now you'll notice here that I didn't keep the negative with the 5. That negative can float anywhere in the fraction that it needs to. I like to always keep my negatives in the numerator, so that's why I kept the negative there, even though the 6 was coming to the top of the fraction. It's perfectly fine. You're more than welcome to keep the negative with the 5. Just make sure you're aware of it. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4 over 5 is my final answer. 13 over 18 times 27 over 20. 18 and 27 actually can cross cancel. They can both divide by 9, giving me 3 and 2. That's going to give me 39 over 40 as my final answer when I multiply. 3 for you to try. Again, I'd go ahead and pause the video, try them on your own, and then turn it back on. So 15 over 16 times negative 36 over 25. That can cross cancel and become a 3. That will cross cancel and become a 5. This will cross cancel and become a 2. This will cross cancel. Nope, I did that wrong. That will cross cancel and become a 4. This will cross cancel and become a negative 9. 3 times negative 9 is negative 27 over 20. That's going to become negative 1 and 7 over 20. Number 5, negative 32 over 45 times 35 over 48. The 45 and the 35 will both divide by 5. That will give me 7 and 9. The 32 and the 48 will actually both divide. Let's see, 32 by 8. So that's going to give me, is it higher than that? 32 divided by 8. That'll give me 4. 48 divided by 8. That gives me 6, which should divide 48 divided by 8, 32 divided by 8. Alright, well, we'll just do it in 2 steps. 32 divided by 8 is 4. 48 divided by 8 is 6. I can cross cancel them again and get divided by 2. So if you can't get the exact number you need to cross cancel by, you can do it in steps as I just did there, because apparently my mind isn't working very well today. 9 times 3 is 27. Yep. And that's my final answer, 14 over 27. Looking at the last one over here, number 6. So negative 18 over 19 times negative 17 over 9. Cross cancel, cross cancel. That's going to give me negative 34 over 19, which will be negative 1, and 15 over 19 is my final answer for that one. Now we're going to look at dividing by a mixed number. Honest to goodness, the only difference is you have to make sure you make them improper. So this is going to be 25 over 6 times 3 negative 5 over 3 divided by negative 5 over 3. Now I'm going to flip it. So 25 over 6 times negative 3 over 5. A lot of students will try to make it improper and flip it at the same time, and it's really easy to get lost in the process and forget one of the 2 steps there. So I suggest actually taking the time and writing out that separate step. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 25 divided by 5 is 5. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Negative 3 divided by 3 is negative 1. That's negative 5 over 2, which is going to give me negative 2 and 1/2 as my final answer. Negative 6 times 3 is negative 18, plus 2 is negative 20 over 3, divided by 14 over 9. Now I will flip them. So negative 20 over 3 times 9 over 14. That becomes a 7. That becomes a negative 10. That becomes a 3. That becomes a 1. I get negative 30 over 7, which will become negative 4 and 2/7 as a mixed number. Now we need to look at word problems. They're everyone's least favorite thing, but we do actually, in fact, need to look at them. So in this case, I want to join strips of wood that are 15 inches long and 1 5/8 inches wide. I want to make a cutting board that is at least 12 inches wide. How many strips are needed? There's a piece of information in this problem that I don't need, and that's that the wood is 15 inches long. That's a piece of information that I don't need. I'm working on the width, how wide these boards are. So I need a cutting board that is 12 inches wide. And my pieces are 1 5/8. How many strips are needed? Well, in order to figure that out, we're going to divide 12 over 1 divided by 1 5/8. I had to make the 12 a fraction, and the easiest way to do that is to make it 12 over 1. So 12 over 1 divided by 13 over 8 by 8. I'm going to take the second fraction, I'm going to flip it upside down. So 12 over 1 times 8 over 13. That's 96 over 13. And I get 7. 7 5/13. Now the question said, how many strips of wood are needed? And I got the answer 7 5/13. So the total number of strips I need are actually 8 strips of wood. I'm going to have to cut part of the 8th strip, but if I don't have 8 total strips, I'm not going to have enough wood to complete the project. So make sure you're answering the question that was asked. Yes, you needed to do the fractions. Yes, you needed to get to the 7 5/13. But your final actual answer is how many total strips would you need to complete the project. Here we have 2 more. We're just going to look at one of them. We're not going to look at the one about the loaf of bread. We're going to look at the one with the fruit. So Carissa mixes 2 gallons, which is 32 cups of fruit punch for a cookout. If each of the tumblers she plans to serve holds 2 1/3 cup, how many tumblers can she fill? So again, we have 32 total cups. We're trying to split that up into 2 1/3. So it's going to be a division problem. So 32 over 1 divided by 2 1/3. 2 1/3 is going to be 7 over 3. I'm going to take it and flip it upside down. So 32 over 1 times 3 over 7. That's going to give me 96 over 7. Which is 13. 13 5/7. So how many cups can she fill? And the answer is she can fill 13 cups. She can fill part of a 14th cup, but she can't fill it all the way. So 13 cups is the total amount that she could fill. Make sure you always remember to label your answer when doing word. So that's it for today. We've done the multiplication, the division. We've looked at some word problems. You should have the homework worksheet in front of you. If for some reason you don't, it is available on my website as well.